Hello. Hello everyone. Welcome to Friday afternoon here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. I'm DDO's Community Manager Cordovan, and I am here on Thalanis. Week 2 of 2. Next week will be on Wayfinder. As you can see, we are getting ready to run Catacombs. I'm on my level 4. Just hit level 4 yesterday and ran Waterworks, and now I'm most of the way to 5. TR'd Cleric. I was a Paladin, now I'm a Cleric. Doing cleric-y things on Thalanis. So there we go. That's what I'm up to today. Otherwise, just getting ready for a killer weekend at DDO. If you aren't aware, we have got a plus 30% Epic XP boost in addition to a plus 10 Treasure Hunters boost, which is kind of nuts. That means you're going to get a lot of those kind of columns of light just about every chest you hit, which is kind of insane that we're doing this during the Mimic Hunt, but hey, you know, whatever. You should take advantage of this. We have decided to basically make this the weekend of chest looting. And, so there you go. Anyway, I hope that's cool. Yeah, the group's full right now. Yeah, the XP boost is real nice. I'm as you can see here, I'm mostly leveling up my TR guy, so I'm actually not really getting much advantage. All my epic characters are capped right now for the most part, so I'm not really getting a whole lot of advantage from doing this. But
the markings on this lever indicate that it controls the...
I am definitely getting advantage of all those chests, so that's pretty cool. The only thing I would mention in terms of news is we did just recently put onto Lamania patch 3, so you can take a look at the ASMR, some of the creature companions, and other cool stuff involved with that if you want to. We are getting ready to hopefully release that next week sometime, maybe? No, actually that's not true. Or is that true? I don't think that's true. I think I'm lying to you. I think it's going to be later, not next week, but maybe the week after. Anyway, so we're getting ready to release that nonetheless. And the only thing that we're really working on that we could really use some help on is we've been hearing since our last patch that some people are having difficulty accessing the DDO store. Clearly, as a business, that's a pretty top concern because, you know, it matters. But we have not been able to locate what the cause of it is. And so we could really use your assistance. I put out a call on the forums today, since overnight our engineers and that were not able to locate why this is happening. So that hopefully you can answer some questions and we'll see if there's any kind of commonality involved that might help us narrow what exactly is going on. You know, whether it's an operating system thing or maybe a web browser thing or an install path thing. We're frankly not 100% sure. We haven't been able to locate why some folks, but not really all that many, but some folks are just simply, whenever they open the DDO store, they're getting a big black screen. So if you're affected by that in particular, please do us a favor and answer those questions, and hopefully that'll help us track down what's going on here. And we know it's a bummer. Come on, turn those guys. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I actually had sort of not used Turn Undead very much for so long that now that the Cleric Pass is here and I've got 7 turns and it gives me increased weapon damage, I really need to be using Turn Undead, but I forget. I just forget to do it. I have to train myself to start using Turn Undead. Yeah, I had no problem getting into the store either, but one of my guildies last night was not able to get into the store. So, I mean, clearly it's some but not all, but we haven't been able to really narrow down what exactly is going on here, so... Still wish the store opens to the existing window, needs something, blah blah blah, store URL top. That has to do, well... Wish the store opens to the existing window. What window are you talking about? I don't quite understand what you're saying there. And the reason it opens in its own tab is because it's starting a new session, a new store session. And that's important because it needs to recognize what you've purchased previously. Otherwise, you would be able to... Otherwise, it would cause more people to purchase the same thing more than once, like, say, extra shared bank storage, that kind of thing. Oh, it previously opened in a new tab rather than a whole new window. Yeah, I think that's really just due to the way we've implemented Chromium. If you choose to have an external browser, it's basically open a new window.
The bloodstains on the floor seem to go through the wall on the right.
It's not that big a deal. But
this must be where the warden kept his keys. His body
almost.
on the floor, twisted in death.
The mimics have definitely gotten nerfed. I was, running Waterworks last night, and I hit quite a few mimic chests. By the way, if you are low level and you're kind of getting sick of Irestone, there's actually quite a few chests in the Waterworks that you can hit pretty quick in both the Wilderness area and the Waterworks itself. It's pretty good, so... So, yeah. Like I say, hoping that we can get that resolved. Clearly, it's something we're hoping to do by the weekend. We'll have to see if we're successful or not. It really is just going to come down to, can we identify what the cause is and get the fix in. We have our engineering team working on it. I mean, clearly it must have something to do with, the update to the DDO store to bring it back in-game. So we're digging through that code and just kind of see what we can come up with. Oops. Get a striding item. I know! Oh, I need to do it. This character is moving so slow. I just haven't... the solution, rather than getting a striding item, is level up quick enough that I've got one. And I can just sort of use what I have. But, yeah, those first couple of times are just like, oh my gosh. So slow. But yeah, I think I hit something like at least a dozen quests. Or chests, rather, in Waterworks in like less than 20 minutes. So, I mean, because you got the 3 or 4 in the Wilderness area, plus a whole bunch of optionals and stuff in Waterworks itself, including, like, say, Part 3, for example. It's just kind of insane. So, FYI, I would recommend. Although it is pretty hard to not just go for the, Irestone route. But, you know, you might get bored running Irestone. Yeah, I'm running Catacombs, but I was talking about Waterworks for Mimic Hunt farming yesterday. Last night, when I was playing. I don't actually have any striding on at all, so that's why I'm running so slow. But I'm only level 4. Like I say, I've got, I don't know, somewhere between now and 7 I'll have a striding item. I should just buy some haste potions at the very least. I was using the Expeditious Retreats boots, the, was it Anger's Step? I think Anger's Step. But just last night, I actually pulled some boots I swapped over into. I've got Thorn Guard and Dodge. As you can see, I haven't even geared out my character because I'm only level 4. It doesn't really matter. I really don't even worry about my gear too much until usually at least level 7. Unless I'm running Reaper, of course, in which case I'll do that work. But I haven't been running Reaper, so...
This lever may open the way out. In the distance, the exit gate lies. Several nearby doors open as well.
Okay. Can I talk about the coupon Maze Arcana was hinting at? No, but you can watch Maze Arcana on Sunday starting at 3 p.m. Eastern and get that coupon and get a cool free thing. Reason I don't want to talk about it is a promotional effort, and part of that promotional effort is to gauge the interest in people watching Maze Arcana and stuff, and how many of their audience might be interested in checking out DDO. So if I just tell you the coupon right now, it kind of defeats the purpose of the promotion. But we like Maze Arcana. They've been real cool, and they're a lot of fun. And so we're hoping if you guys like them, and we like them, and they like us, and you know it's one big love fest, perhaps we can do some things with them in the future. That would be the goal anyway. Any news on pre-order? No. I really can't spill the beans on that either. You know, we have a pretty exacting marketing schedule that would not be appropriate for me to bypass. So, sorry. Wish we would do something with Acquisitions Inc. So, yeah, I mean, they're cool too, right? The thing about Acquisitions Inc. is they're also really busy. So, I got stuck on a load screen. Alright. Hey, if you can hear me, I'm going to quick kill the client and restart. Bummer. I also had an interesting lag spike last night. I'll have to look into the health of our game environment, make sure the engineers know. platonic love fest, I meant to say. A friendship gathering, as it were. How do I get my hotkey bars so small? I'm just playing a 1920 by 1080 and just dragging them off to the lower right corner. Yeah, Snow White Fox over on YouTube. I cannot decide between a coin pet and a mimic cloak. Time is running out, which is true. This Sunday is the last day for it. Any idea when the mimic hunt will resume? The intention is to bring the mimic hunt back generally quarterly. You know, every couple of months. Unfortunately, similar to last time, some folks enjoy exploiting our fine, innocent event. So we're going to have to do another round of can't let people do that before we can bring it back. But I would expect to... I think I actually saw them make some changes to the Mimic Hunt in our... Or at least they were talking about doing it yesterday. So if everything goes well, we could have the Mimic Hunt return within a couple months. Wait, so you will be deprecating the coins that don't get used? No. No. Any coins you have, hang on to those things. You'll be able to use them again. That's the intention of the Mimic Hunt, is it's a more frequently returning event.
The smell of blood mixes with the musty scent of old books. An elderly librarian cowers nearby. This must be Gwillem. You hear thumps and groans among the shelves of the archives. The undead have overrun this place.
We are doing the old archives. If you are not aware, you want to join us. And just to be clear, the exploit is not, say, farming Irestone or something like that. It's a little more insidious than that. So, it's kind of a bummer. But hey, it's the way it goes sometimes.
Someone has carved a message into one of the shells. The duality has returned. Doom shall darken the flame.
You know, they're not really cave bats. They're really more library bats at this point. Book bats, as it were.
The shell seems slightly askew here. You hear a chittering sound from behind the shells.
So you might ask, why are you turning spiders? It's because my ability is Blessing of War. I'm a war domain, so I get increased damage with all weapons when I use my Turn Undead.
On the pedestal lies a scrap of parchment. Wanted guest.
Does a low-level Reaper give more Reaper XP? So technically the answer is no, because Reaper tends to be a function of the base XP of the quest. And so to the extent that we've balanced the base XP of the quest through the curve upwards, the answer is no. But practically, the answer is kind of yes, because, and this isn't always the case, there are exceptions, but in general, people have found that it's a lot faster to run low-level quests than high-level quests. So even though you're still getting the same ratio of Reaper XP to base XP, you're able to get a lot more base XP, essentially, by farming low-level quests than by running high-level stuff. So I think what we're going to do long-term, and I don't have an ETA as to when this will happen, is we are looking to have some kind of curved system of XP that'll help boost up the Reaper XP on the high-level quests to help encourage, provide some encouragement for folks who want to stay at cap and run Reaper to not feel like they're being kind of punished, so to speak, for doing so. Well, we're definitely... Okay, so someone is saying, I like the ASMR, they're looking great, but I would highly recommend switching the +1 Charisma, +1 Wisdom to +2/+2. No, we're definitely not going to do a base 4 stat points on a race. However, we are very much looking toward maybe moving it from +1 Charisma to +1 Wisdom to simply +2 Wisdom. Yeah, I mean, +4 racial or stats just based on your race is kind of too much. Please, you should add some new hairstyles and beard styles for ASMR. We have got plans for 3 new male and 3 new female hairstyles. Sorry, I don't think we're getting to the beards. But that is the intention, is to have 6 new hairstyles with the ASMR. If you haven't noticed as well, they also have a some kind of running animations with weapons that are unique. That's pretty cool too. I would love to see some new beard styles, but it's just a matter of we have X amount of resources to devote to it, and we've opted for new hairstyles. I would love to get like a series of Movember-themed kind of beards on that, but I just haven't been able to convince the team that that's a good value for our money. It's almost like they want to do other things, but what can I say? The amount of work that it takes to do things like idle animations for every class, because you're essentially talking about doing one for every class and every race. Well, sort of, kind of every race. Kind of every race that has its own animation set. So it's not quite every race, but it's a lot of them. I don't think it would probably be realistic to do, but we're definitely we're bringing some new kind of weapon idle animations. Like instead of well, as you see here, let me see if one of the characters has it right now. Do we have any, like, say, battle axe wielders? Yeah, Tarns. You see how he's kind of got the running thing like this, and when you watch him run with the ASMR, they're going to kind of carry it, you know, sideways with them, and it's going to be a little bit more of a natural sort of run animation. It's pretty cool. One of the animators brought it to our attention. Was like, "Hey, I was able to do this. What do you think?" Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring it to every new, class race combo, but it's going to be with ASMR, so that's pretty rad. And perhaps we can expand it in the future. I have read on the forums there will be an avatar update. Is this true? Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something we would like to do. I think it's going to be a while before we'd see it, though. So I wouldn't hold my breath on it. But that is something that we have thought about doing and said, hey, we should do that. That's what they are doing for Lord of the Rings Online, but, they've only done 2 of the races in Lotro so far. They have quite a few to go, so it's going to be a while. Dirty Dexter, the intention is to have the weapons sit naturally, a little more naturally than you see in our typical run animations right now. I'll let you be the judge as to whether we've succeeded there or what have you, but that's the intention. Halloween is on a Tuesday this year. When will the Night Revels run? The Night Revels will... The intention is to run Night Revels... I think usually about starting kind of mid-ish October. And then run it through Halloween. So I do think, yeah, we are aware that that means we're actually going to be extending it a little bit beyond our typical 2-week, start on a Thursday, go through the full week, go through the whole next week, go through that second weekend, and then turn it off that Monday. Because Halloween is, like you say, a little off-kilter in terms of that schedule, we're actually, I think, going to be keeping Night Revels going for a little bit longer than usual this time around. All right. So much hype on Ravenloft. What'll be after Ravenloft? 2018. I don't know. I don't honestly know. I think there have been some plans kind of made as to what we might do in 2018, but I don't think we've really committed the team yet to that stuff. Is there much talk about returning to Eberron? Yeah. We actually were in Eberron a lot last year in particular, so much so that we kind of had some folks who were like, have you guys just sort of forgotten about Forgotten Realms? Are we ever going to go back to the Forgotten Realms, etc., etc.? So we sort of did focus a little bit more on that, this year. But no, we're definitely not done with Eberron. Is Lamania still up? It's a good question. I think technically the answer is yes, but I don't think it's going to last through the day. I think they're shutting it off today. I hadn't heard about plans to leave it up through the weekend, and I think I would have heard that. But yeah, I think so far our 2018 planning has been more, well, what could we do, rather than locking down a schedule, because frankly we're super duper busy with Ravenloft, and Ravenloft is really going to probably carry us through the end of the year, with between patches and stuff like that, so... But I would expect that that if it's not being done internally, like among the dev team, will be something we'll be doing fairly soon. Starting to solidify our 2018 plans. Finish Droam. You know, we kind of did. I mean, I hear that a lot, right? But we kind of did finish Droam, didn't we? I mean, what's left? We stopped the invasion. We could take the invasion to Droam, but that would be more adding to the story than finishing the story. The story is, at least as far as I'm concerned, the story is finished. In terms of the story arc that we specifically tell in that adventure pack. Oh, it's true, we didn't kill the hags, but that, you know... Sometimes your licensors don't appreciate you killing main characters. After Ravenloft, the Isle of Dread. That would be rad. I would love to do the Isle of Dread. But we would need dinosaurs in DDO before we were able to do Isle of Dread. I mean, dinosaurs would also make sense for Eberron, right? I mean, you could theoretically do that, but it would be a big undertaking. But if we did have dinosaurs in Eberron, that would be that much easier to make Isle of Dread. Well, it's not... Sometimes it's not... Well... Nah, I can't get into that. Sorry. Halflings riding dinosaurs. Any exciting things tested on Lamania regarding Ravenloft? Oh yeah. ASMR, some of the creature companions, Vistani Knife Fighter. Yeah, I think the licensing for Dragonlance is complex enough that I wouldn't count on it. There was a time when I would have said that about Forgotten Realms, though, so who knows, right? But I think, frankly, it would be more likely we would do something other than Dragonlance. Is the Night Revels coming back? Yes. On top of that, it is going to have one... It's a little lighter this year than we've done in previous years, but it is going to have a new dungeon in it. I think a sea battle would be really cool. Frankly, I would also like to see a lightning rail battle. You know, maybe a little bit similar to Precious Cargo, but on an Orion lightning rail. I think that would be really fun. It might not make sense for Eberron, though. Or not Eberron, but Zendrik, which is where DDO takes place. Because I don't think Zendrik really has the lightning rail. Maybe someone who's more versed in Eberron lore can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. Dominic, this is a much earlier question on YouTube, but I'm getting to it now. You may have discussed that I've read some reincarnation issues are fixed with the new upcoming patch. Is this true? Yes, that is our intention. You know, we don't want to declare victory until that is borne out through practice in game. But that is the intention. And in the next patch, we have got what really amounts to bulletproofing of our reincarnation system. The idea is it basically has quite a few more checks saying, hey, is X done before I do Y? Is Y done before I do Z? So we're not really overhauling the entire system visibly, but behind the scenes we're really, really locking down things that will hopefully prevent this from ever happening again, in terms of people losing their stuff. But we wouldn't want to... Like I said, we don't want to declare victory on that until we declare victory on that. You know, once we go live and a couple months pass and nobody's having a single reincarnation issue, then we're going to be far more... Oops, where am I going? Going to be far more likely to say, yep, we fixed it. But that is the intention. You know, we think we're successful, but one of the main challenges has always been an inability to repro this reincarnation issue with any kind of consistency. You know, we've had times where we've gone and brought in, just done, you know, 10,000 reincarnations using a script or something like that, and never once has it happened for us. But clearly it's happening, so, you know. Yeah, I didn't think they were on Zendrik. Is there some reason we don't go to other Eberron continents? It's really a license thing. We have the rights to go to certain areas through our license with Wizards of the Coast. And that's not to say we could never go on, but it would just, you know, we'd have to do that discussion with the licensor and get approval and all that sort of thing. Technically, we have gone a few other places. But it tends to be more like kind of transporting you there, rather than have more of a fully fleshed out system, environment.
The main altar lies ahead, despoiled by evil. The stones themselves seem to sigh and moan in agony.
Yeah, Faces, if we knew why we have been unable to repro the TR issue, we'd probably be able to repro the TR issue. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, the long and short of it is, hopefully this will be a non-issue in the very near future from here on out. And wouldn't that be lovely?
Words are etched in the archway. Bane of the winged serpent. The altar of the winged serpent stands before you. You will have to destroy the white guarding it before you can purify it. The shadows and corruption cloaking the altar dissipate. A sound like a soft sigh fills the chamber.
Any plans for the road in the King's Forest to lead somewhere? No, not really. I mean, it does. It leads to the various quests and all that. But no, I don't think we're going to be expanding the King's Forest anytime soon. Want to see more characters from the original cinematic? We actually did that not too long ago, right? Because, I mean, Jeets, you know, was in the anniversary event and all that sort of thing. We use Jeets a lot. Talbrun was in Brothers of the Forge, that sort of thing. Selamos... Didn't Selamos make an appearance not too long ago? Could have sworn she did. I say we go back to Edition 1 rules. Oh yeah, Thaco would be great for a video game. Nice. Is there any way to get the store to open in-game on a Mac? No, not yet. It's unclear what our ability or interest in making that work is. The reality is the number, you know, our Mac client isn't great. And I'm not really... We support it. But I don't think we support it a lot. And I don't know that we're going to get Osmium working with the Mac, unfortunately. Sorry to say. So you're probably just going to have to open an external. The reality is we have very few people who play DDO on a Mac. And that may well be our fault for not really having a very great client, but nonetheless, it's the reality of it.
Words are etched in the archway. Shrine of the Avenging Maiden.
I want to fight Warduke. You know, that's really funny you mentioned that. I was looking up a bunch of Warduke stuff just, was it last week, because it was the 35th anniversary of the D&D cartoon, and I was thinking, man, we should totally put Warduke in something. I am down. I think DDO needs a War Duke. I mean, was there any more badass kind of Saturday morning cartoon villain than War Duke? Even though he kind of didn't do a whole lot really in the cartoon, he just looked so cool. See, I always thought War Duke was cooler than Venger, but that's just me. Yeah. It was the helmet.
Protective magic surrounding the altar vanishes. It can be purified now. As the shrieks of the vanquished undead fade, a small stone tablet appears atop the main altar. It beckons you.
As long as Bobby the Barbarian doesn't show up. Oh, they're already in the game. Yeah. There is a reference to the cartoon in one of the quests. It's in the missing. Yep.
Groans and the cracking of stone echo up this passage.
Yeah, I don't think there, you know, it's kind of funny that there really haven't been more fantasy cartoons out there. You know, you'd think with like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and what have you, that perhaps that would happen, but it just really hasn't. Anime has sometimes come close, but it's still anime, right? You still have usually things like that that kind of prevent it from happening.
Hideous laughter drifts up out of the dark.
Maybe there are sword and sorcery things that I just, you know, aren't aware of or what have you either, but... Oh yeah, Kellic the Wizard. I had a Kellic the Wizard action figure. Boy doll. Don't call them dolls, they're action figures. But yes, I had a Kellic. It was awesome. He came with this groovy glow-in-the-dark staff and everything.
Scratching sounds and creaking rise through the dust-choked air.
Game of Thrones, the Saturday morning cartoon. I don't think we'd see that.
Before you stands the sarcophagus of Cardinal Mulan. The sarcophagus is warded. A roar of flame shakes the crypt. The floors of the tomb. Doesn't look like you might get up to the room above from here.
That's true, Dominic. The cartoon did have a finale, it just never got filmed. Infamously, it turned out that, what was it, well, I guess I can spoil it, right? Dungeon Master, or Venger was Dungeon Master's son. Total nod to Star Wars there.
The air grows colder as you round the bend. Something stirs ahead near the sarcophagus.
Always thought something was wrong with Dungeon Master. Oops.
Faint, unearthly chimes seem to ring from up this passage, beckoning you to safety. The altar lies beyond the gates ahead of you. Succor is at hand.
That's true. You know, the Dragonlance cartoon movie wasn't too bad. It wasn't like, you know, maybe the greatest thing ever, but it was cool. I liked it. There is a forum thread. I think it might even be in the Hall of Fame on the DDO forums, which is sort of references in DDO to other things, Easter eggs and what have you. So, Mops, you should, or not Mops, but SPC Dragon 13, you should be able to see that.
To speak with you at the top of his dais.
Fairly easily. Yeah, I don't know all the licensing and issues and all that with Dragonlance. I just know that I have heard, in the same way that most D&D fans have, that Dragonlance is complex in terms of licensing, and that's why we haven't seen, say, Dragonlance video games and all that sort of thing. I don't really have any inside knowledge there, though.
As you shut the gate behind you, a great magical barrier rises up.
Dirty Dexter, something happened, because you're not the first person to mention this. But the weird thing is, we didn't do anything with the forums. And for some reason, a whole bunch of people have had it switched to the mobile style. So when you go to the forums, go to the bottom of the page, look on the right-hand side, and you'll see a little drop down there. Switch it back to the non-mobile version, and you'll get rid of that white background thing that you're talking about. You're right, MacuBray. I probably should put Ailenwee's cosmetic thing in the Hall of Fame. Maybe I'll do that. Join me in death. You will not stand between me and my vengeance.
Marguerite vanishes like smoke. The magical barrier at the top of the stairs vanishes. A barrier above blocks your ascent. From the side tunnel comes the rattling of dry bones.
Is Tiamat in DDO? No. Tiamat was licensed to one of our competitors.
Third barrier bars your path at the top of the stairs. The groans of the living dead reach.
Will the 3 doorways in the Hall of Heroes ever be operational? One is a pumpkin, one is a snowflake, etc. They are. They are event portals. When the event is active, they are available. I don't know if I've bragged enough about it, so let me brag once again. When I was at Gen Con this year, I got Larry Elmore to sign a Raistlin print for me. It is now currently framed and hanging above my computer. I'm not someone super special, by the way. He was actually, as long as you were buying his prints and that, he was at the booth. He was actually doing a lot of signing at this year's Gen Con. It was really cool. Bring back Thaco. What? You have a +6 AC exploiter. My AC is -10.
The last barrier to the Archbishop's chambers lies ahead. The undead here are many.
Hey, Draconar. When is Flump coming to DDO? We have to get to the Modrons first. So we're going to do Modrons, then Flump. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
As the altar explodes in a fury of holy energy, the back wall slides open to reveal a secret passage, perhaps a way out.
Oh, I would love Displacer Beast. That'd be sweet. Add grapple rules. Yeah, there's a random string of letters that scrolls by the screen, and you've got to hit every one of them in combination. Got to do it again every 6 seconds. Yeah. I would love a Shambling Mound. I would like an Intellect Devourer. Intellect Devourer is my... What monster do you want to see in DDO? Intellect Devourer is mine.
Archbishop Dryden stares coldly down at you from his dais. You can feel his scorn from here. Archbishop Dryden collapses unconscious. The fate of Archbishop Dryden rises from his body and turns its glowing... Archbishop Dryden howls in despair as the Devourer claims his soul. All that remains is to tell Friar Reincarnation
All right.
of his niece's fate.
Am I crazy, or did there used to be a chest back there? Does DDO influence pen and paper as much as P&P does DDO? No. It has had some impact on pen and paper. I know, for example, some of the DDO dev team did provide early feedback on 5th edition, and I don't know, that we can claim much credit, but, it was a little bit. And there was the 4th ed Stormreach book, and that was pretty cool. And there have been a couple of things over the years where, it's been like, hey, we talk back and forth, and it's been like, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe we'll do that. Or something like that. But definitely it's more the other way around. So the nice thing about the wooden prayer beads, and they're not great, but they're only minimum level 3, and they go into your trinket slot. And they've got an empty yellow augment slot, so they're a good way at super low level to find a use for that trinket slot until you can get, you know, whatever, the Master's Gift or whatever. The XP one. So that's not terrible. I might go with the wooden prayer beads. Sanctuary is a cool looking shield. It does have a purple slot, which is kind of cool, but I don't know. Eternal Rest is really nice. If you don't have Eternal Rest, you want to go for that. That's bound to character on equip. So you can get that to your monk. That's probably the most important hand wraps you may have at that level, because they're Silver, Ghost Touch, Empty Red, Lesser Undead Bane. Guidance isn't terrible, but I've never really used it much. Never really used the Morning Star or Boots of Faith. Flamekeep Docent's not awful, but I guess I'll go. Candlelight's not terrible either. It's bound to account on Acquire, and it is minimum level 3. So if you're an artificer, you know, it's not a terrible rune arm to wield for a while either. But really, for me, it's either Candlelight or, well, it's number 1 is going to be the Eternal Rest. If you don't have it, you're going to want to pick that. But if you do already have it, then so that actually gives me an extra AC point. But I think I'm still going to go with the wooden prayer beads. Yeah, I too have had some difficulty getting the targeting right on Candlelight, but it's not terrible. Yeah, the Templar's Chain for Mirror of Glamoring is pretty rad too. Although I am real fond of this set of armor. I have it on a lot of my characters, and that is from the DDO store, the Dark Beast Light Armor with Clawed Pauldrons. It's one of my favorites. And then for a shield, I've got glamored the Shield of Reflecting, because I think it's kind of rad looking. I like the symbol on it. So I'm pretty happy with my cosmetic look right now. Voice of the Master, yes, of course. Jesus, I knew I couldn't think of that. Are we able to introduce any monster type in DDO, or do some have licensing issues? Well, I mean, they all need to be approved by our licensors, but in general, I think if we have a good reason to bring a monster from pen and paper into the game, we probably would get approval to do it. It's usually just a matter of, you know, devoting resources. All right. We need giant frogs. Yep. I would love Displacer Beast. Yep. All right. I'm going to call it. That is it for Friday afternoon here on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you will give us a follow on Twitch, you'll be notified for when we go live with shows just like this. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and you'll get our videos in your subscription feed. We do have shows throughout the weekend, including It's good to be king, and I think that's right. And streaming with Even. Got some good shows, so we'll see you back soon. I will see you next Wednesday. I'll be on Wayfinder, probably, I think my character is level 26-ish on Wayfinder, so we'll be running Epic something or others. Until then, have a great DDO weekend. I'll talk to you again soon.